Welcome back to Goeiemôre, good morning. As the world changes, we are forced to look towards alternative food sources. Next, we are talking to Joanne Techow from Ensekta, a company that focuses on the cultivation of insects as a food alternative. Welcome to the show, Joanne.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
What is the reason for us needing to find alternative food sources like insects?
So basically, the world population has been growing for a number of years, and we're estimated to reach 9 billion people by the year 2040, somewhere around there. And basically, our current food sources are very unsustainable. We have beef, which produces a lot of methane, and they take up a lot of land, and they require a lot of food to produce a small amount of protein. This, on the other hand, crickets, they're much more sustainable, they require much less space, and they use much less food and water. And so we've been utilizing this food source as a more sustainable approach to cater for all the 9 billion people that we're going to have.
So how do you, as Joanne, one day just kind of sit and decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start an alternative food source company, and I'm going to come and tell everybody about
this
it.
looks similar to a nice piece of steak.
Absolutely, and you can eat the whole cricket. So, so basically, when I began this, I have a background in zoology and business management. I was put on a project of looking at alternative livelihoods, and while I was doing that, I discovered that you could farm insects, and I got really excited. Then I discovered that you could eat them, and I thought, I need to try this, So I started then my own business called Ensekta, farming insects. We originally started with crickets and mealworms and silkworms. At the moment, we're just focusing on crickets, but it's a really interesting food source, and it's a very versatile. So I've been on a huge journey this whole time.
It's learning a lot. So about the cultivation and everything with regards to this,
Yeah, because it obviously doesn't need a lot of space to farm insects.
No, exactly. That's the benefit. You can farm them literally anywhere. So you can have a tabletop model that's right here, or you can farm them large scale in an urban environment. So cows, basically, they need fields and they need a lot of horizontal space. Insects you can farm vertically. So you can put them in any room and you can stack a lot in there, which is great.
You could basically have an insect farm in a one-bedroom apartment in Cape Town.
Correct,
and
exactly.
You could do all of this kind of thing.
Yes.
So what is the purpose of the insects for like personal use? Because obviously a lot of your clients are bigger kind of agricultural farmers and agricultural industry people.
Yes.
But now you want to sell to me and my
yeah. Looking at me as a big agricultural farmer. Thank you for that, Ross.
No, I'm talking about us being the normal man of straat.
Absolutely, yeah.
So absolutely, for the regular consumer, all right, insects are loaded with nutritional benefits, which is their main selling point, okay? So crickets in particular, they have up to 70% protein, which is double that of beef, okay? Ours in particular, we had tested them and they actually have 58% protein, which is really good already. On top of that, they have more calcium than milk, more iron than spinach. They have omega-3 and 6, magnesium, zinc, and fiber also. So they're like a little superfood, So we like to fortify our food. So we bake little biscuits and breads and things, and it can actually work really well as a nutritional supplement, especially for kids who are fussy, so it works really well. You give them a biscuit and they get the nutrition when they don't want to eat anything else,
Can you imagine, ek sien al my kinders as ek sê, jy moet nou kies tussen 'n broccoli of 'n spinnekoppie of 'n springkaantjie. Which are you going to choose?
A choc chirp cookie.
Choc chirp.
Choc chirp. That's very basic.
Now, I also want to see what is this? This is whole roasted crickets.
Those are whole roasted crickets, yes.
So this is like instead of popcorn, you enjoy this.
Exactly, and we make them in different flavors because you can salt them, you can barbecue them. We have chili flavor now also.
Wow.
So you can just pick your flavor.
Honestly, people are very intrigued by this, Joanne.
Yes.
So we've got a WhatsApp in from someone asking, are insects not dirty? So are you not eating dirty stuff?
No, actually. So we've been certified with an organization called Entertrust, okay, and they actually regulate our processes as we go along. So farming crickets, they are farmed in a container where they do live amongst their food and their droppings, unfortunately, although we keep that on the floor and they climb, okay, but that's cattle also, cattle also live in a field.
Well.
Exactly. But then also once we actually harvest them and cook them, then we follow a rigorous cleaning method to make sure that they are clean and sustainable. Clean and ready for use, for human consumption. And this is regulated also. So we did actually get our certification from Entertrust, and they're shap.
Well, I can share a few recipes with regards to putting a lamb on the fire
Exactly,
and
yes.
cooking a steak. And so, do you have any specific recipes that's mouth-watering?
Well, I mean, like these ones look pretty great that I made for today. Honestly, I like to make cricket tacos. And so instead of using mince, you actually replace the mince with crickets, which is good. Otherwise, we like to bake with it. So we actually make a cricket powder out of the crickets. And then this is like the best way to actually consume the crickets because it's friendly. Like this doesn't look like a cricket at all. And then with this, you can just substitute regular flour 1/3 with the cricket powder. And you can bake as usual.
Well, it's early morning. Good morning, goeiemôre. En dan Roz, jy gaan nou ietsie wil proe, I'm sure.
Yes.
I will if you will.
Sure.
We could, I mean,
Okay,
you know,
so introduce us to what's happening here. Tell us the menu.
All right, so I made bruschetta with a cricket pate over here with tomato and mozzarella cheese. Delicious stuff. I have pineapple with crickets, dark chocolate, honey and turmeric, which is a nice dessert for the end. And we also have avo toast with crickets, coriander, and avo. Yes.
This is the one.
That is the one.
Okay, I think I'm going to go in here with a little pesto vibe here
Ek wil hê jy moet 'n kriek proe, man.
Ek gaan, man. Daar zijn 3 courses hier,
So this is
man.
for the adventurous, you know,
Yes.
because we can actually see the crickets here.
So there's any park down prawns or something?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Delicious.
is-
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Nou gaan ons 1 2 3.
There we go. Look at you.
Okay, here we go.
Ek is hier vandag geboen.
Kraakvars. Ek moet sê, kyk net hoe lekker.
That is not,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
the
really not
popcorn.
bad.
And it's made with crickets. Even this, the whole crickets. You
That's actually so good. Okay, but now I'm going to go in
Jy
on
moet 'n
this
lekker
one.
vat 'n diep happie.
Nee, man. Ek dink ek
Honestly,
gaan
you've got to
so
try
een
pineapple ones.
Which is that?
The pineapple. You have to try that.
bietjie- Okay.
Oh, she's going to be brave. Okay.
Okay.
Jy kan dit doen. Maar
Okay.
I must say this is really I'm scared to say it tastes like nothing. But obviously you're going to get accustomed to the taste eventually.
So crickets are very nutty. So they have a very natural flavor.
I was going to say.
Oh really?
So you don't actually notice it too much. Especially
now-
with foods.
You got to go in for the dessert, people.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
I must say you're having a little giggle like that. Obviously you have seen people's reaction.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yeah.
That's for the
The
first
thrill
time.
factor, yeah.
And do they're a lot like more grillerig than we've been, right?
Oh,
Where
yes,
people are like,
yes. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I tell them and their face goes,
I think I got
"Ugh."
an antenna. Oh, extra protein.
Could be a leg, you know. They get stuck in your teeth sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, kyk net hoe lekker op
So people are watching this, and this does look
good.
delicious. And they might be inspired to go and make. It looks like macadamias, man.
Baie lekker.
They might be inspired to make breakfast at home. Can they just go into their garden and see if they can vang 'n kriek and then, you know, sprinkle some crickets?
So we always advise go catch your livestock. No, we always advise to not do that. Crickets in the wild, they may have been sprayed with insecticides or pesticides or something. They can pick up things. They don't really carry disease. Crickets are quite clean, so they're not too bad. But we say do please source it from an actual farming organization, as they have been bred then for human consumption and fed with feed grade stuff. Yeah.
What are you going to try to do to kind of get rid of the misinformation around having insects as a food source?
Education. Education is our first step. So the more people hear about it, the more relaxed they become. Because the first time you hear about it, you're like, oh no. But then the more you hear about it, the more relaxed you become. Also, I think certification that we do have to say that this is good and fine and clean for humans to eat. And then also just making it look appetizing like this, you know. Because if you think about an insect as an insect, you're not going to want to eat it. But if you see it as an actual food source, you're like, okay, let me try it, you know. So that's the thing. It was the same with sushi. When sushi was introduced, they were like, oh no, what? We can't eat raw fish. And now it is such a big thing, you know. So it's a process. Even for me, okay, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh yay, let's try this. But most people go on a journey, you know. So
Do insects taste different?
Yeah.
they do. Yes. Okay. So most insects have a very nutty or chickeny flavor. Especially crickets, they taste like nuts when you roast them. If you fry them, they taste like fried chicken, okay? Mealworms, they also taste a bit like chicken. Termites, they can either taste salty if they're the worker termites, or like peanut butter if they're the flying termites. So if you literally don't have peanut butter, just go harvest some termites. It's all good.
Is it really in the taste, or do you have a very good...
Termites, no, people will tell you, like literally, they taste like peanut butter. I'm not the only one who says it.
So is niks met jou verbeelding te doen
Yeah,
nie.
for the cookie.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try it. I
Yeah,
mean,
try a cookie. And then there's also one called a sago grub, which actually tastes like bacon. I'm not even kidding. So, you know, they all taste different.
moet ek eerste wees, huh? Well, I'll rather go for
Yeah.
this one. And
Bacon is very expensive now, so maybe we should go for that.
What is this,
sago
a
worm.
choc?
It's a choc chirp cookie.
Chirp. Okay, so what's the ingredients?
Choc chirp. Choc
Quickly,
chirp.
the ingredients, more or less, in
Chirp.
short.
Cricket powder, flour, egg, sugar.
And all the ingredients are here, so you know
choc
exactly
chips.
what you're putting into your mouth.
Exactly. Taste
Mamma
it.
mia!
Mmm.
It sounds, it tastes chocolatey.
It's a regular biscuit, but it's fortified.
Where can people find more information while I'm still chewing?
Okay, we have a website in www.ensekta.com. We are on Instagram and on Facebook at ensekta.sa. So it's very easy to find us online. You can literally Google Ensekta, Ensekta, and we'll come up. We are first on the list.
Wow.
Okay.
Certainly a creative way to think about home cooking. Remember, you can follow us on social media right now. After this, we're talking about South Africa's creative ecosystem and eating more cricket cookies. Stay tuned.